Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In today's coverage of the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia, very heavy fighting continues. We continue to receive reports and verified information in reference to the Tigrayan Defense Forces continuing to push down the A2 highway past Kamise, and we can now confirm that the Tigrayan Defense Forces have pushed past the town of Ataye and look to continue to press towards the key objective right now, which would be the taking of Debre Sina. And I've talked about why Debre Sina was a very important target given the terrain features near Debre Sina and how difficult it would be for the Tigrayan Defense Forces to press down the A2 highway and basically attack upslope towards possible defenders amassed in the higher ground just to the west of Debre Sina. And again, once you get past Debre Sina, you get up to basically a higher elevation and then a plateau, and then basically it's fairly flat all the way towards the next major town of Debre Sina. Now we can confirm, we continue to receive reports or new reports that remnants of the Ethiopian National Defense Forces are in fact building up forces within the vicinity of Debre Sina, and specifically we're hearing about a buildup near Debre Sina. So as Military and Foreign Affairs Network had anticipated, we do believe Debre Sina will be the last and final major hurdle for the Tigrayan Defense Forces to overcome before moving further south, possibly taking Debre Sina, and then the ultimate prize, which would of course obviously be Addis Ababa, also known as Fene. But again, we continue to receive reports of fairly heavy fighting going on, mainly between Amhara militia units and Fano militia units loyal to the Amhara region that are fighting within the vicinity of various towns along the A2 highway south of Ataye and other areas as well. We have also received reports that a Ethiopian National Defense Force drone attacked a column of prisoners of war that were being transported north towards detention centers, possibly farther north into the Tigray region. But this column was attacked by a Ethiopian National Defense Force Abiy loyalist drone system. We can also confirm that a new shipment of precision-guided munitions have been delivered to the Abiy loyalists via China. So it's reported, obviously, that the Ethiopian Federal Forces, the Ethiopian Air Force, possibly its intelligence agency, is in possession of Chinese-made Wing Loon, and obviously possibly some Iranian drones as well. And again, we're still trying to confirm if in fact TB2 drones from the Turkish military are operating in the region as well. But with that being said, we can confirm the Wing Loon is present, is being utilized, and approximately 50 TL-2 precision-guided missiles were delivered to the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. Now, with this system, the TL-2 is more or less was originally designed as a man-portable air defense system. So basically what they did is they took this man-portable air defense missile, put a different seeker head on it, and basically created a system that could be used, a lightweight system that could be used by drones. that don't take up too much weight, as these obviously man-portable missile systems are fairly lightweight. But this missile system is very elongated, a very long missile system with a very small warhead. And then at the same time, this system has not had a tremendous amount of success in terms of accuracy. Generally speaking, you're looking at a 2 to 10 meter circular error of probability where it could possibly hit. And and given the size of the warhead, meaning it is very small, if it were to detonate 2, 3, 4, 5 meters from its target, obviously it's probably not going to do a tremendous amount of damage, possibly wounding troops in the open, depending on the level of fragmentation that's in the warhead. But again, something that was really designed to target buildings and stationary vehicles, but again, not anywhere what I would say to the MAM-L missile system, the MAL system that the Turks use. A bigger warhead, much more accurate system. But again, be that as it may, it sounds like these systems were delivered to the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, and that again is the TL-2 PGM system to operate on the Wing Loon. Now the Wing Loon only has 2 hard points, so it can only really carry 2 of these systems. And then again, there's some thought around the data links are not that great with the Wing Loon, especially those that are operating within this region in Ethiopia. And at the same time, again, the size of the warhead on this precision guided missile system is just not that large. So again, not a real game changer, but on the other hand, we do see that China is delivering systems to the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. But again, a convoy was attacked heading north, containing a fairly significant amount of prisoners of war. There were casualties that were taken by the actual prisoners on these vehicles. So we're trying to confirm just how many were actually KIA'd or injured in that attack. But again, that was an issue that I've talked about before. It's probably not the first time that's occurred, and probably won't be the last time as well. But again, we're seeing fairly steady progress by the Tigrayan Defense Forces moving down the A2 highway in other areas, both west and east of the A2 highway. It's a very steady, progressive advance. And it appears they're looking to shore up their rear areas as they continue to advance. Quite possibly at some point, I would assume the anticipation is to meet with members of the Oromo Liberation Army that are now encamped north and northwest of Addis Ababa at some point as they continue to move down the A2 highway. Now, at the same time, we are hearing continued reports of Eritrean troop movements. These troop movements really continue to be not directed towards an actual invasion of the Tigray region, but more or less what we're hearing is that the possibility of Eritrean troops and some elements of artillery have been moved into the Afar region, quite possibly to support Afar regional militias and any remnants of the Ethiopian National Defense Forces in fighting that is ongoing near Mille. But again, obviously, Eritrea has been a participant in this conflict and looks to continue to be a participant inside of this conflict. Now, for just a minute, I wanted to have a look at the distance of which the Tigrayan Defense Forces have fairly rapidly moved since invading the Amhara region. So if we go to our map here and we're going to look at miles, and we start from the actual border of the Tigray region with the Amhara region, and we go to Dese. Obviously it's 79 miles, but right now we know as a bird flies, that the TDF has now seized control of Taiye that is here. So again, the TDF has progressed 134 miles deep into Amharan territory since the onset of the conflict, after evicting the Amharan and Ethiopian National Defense Forces from the Tigray region. And if we switch that to kilometers, that's 216 kilometers to Ataye from the border with the Tigray region. Now, if we look at Ataye to the capital of Addis Ababa, again, fairly significant distance, but again, not as long as the distance already traveled into the Amhara region. So again, from Ataye south, if we look at the main body of the Tigrayan Defense Forces, or major units of the TDF operating near Ataye, west and east of Ataye, and in between Kamise and Ataye, you're probably looking at about 122 miles, and again, 100 and basically 200 kilometers. But again, that really means nothing at this point until this town of Debre Sina and west of the town of Debre Sina is taken. Again, a key terrain feature for the Tigrayan Defense Forces to overcome. It's going to be a key area of defense for the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the remnants of the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, to attempt to stop the advance along the A2 highway. And as you can see, the A2 highway goes through Debre Sina, and then you are basically having to navigate switchbacks up the mountainous terrain until you reach the top of this plateau. And then ultimately, once we hear about the taking of this town, Menafisha, then quite possibly things start to get a little bit easier for the Tigrayan Defense Forces. But this, again, is should be, in terms of military science, a very, very difficult operation, really one of the last areas for the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the Amhara militias, to defend this area. Again, I talked about the importance of Desse and Kombolcha. However, that fell rather quickly. So could this be something that the TDF is able to circumnavigate rather quickly? Again, hard to say. From a strictly military aspect, it looks like the best defendable area for the Ethiopian forces, for the Abiy loyalists. And obviously, given the what we've seen in the conflict in the last few weeks, again, that really doesn't mean anything at this point. But logically speaking, this would seem like a fairly logical defensive strong point for the ENDF, the Abiy loyalists, to attempt a stand to stop the advance by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. But we'll continue to watch and see what happens in this area of operations. Furthermore, again, the Abiy loyalists continue to round up many peoples from the Tigray region living in Addis Ababa, and not just Tigrayans, other persons who actively do not support the Prosperity Party or the Abiy Ahmed leadership. But again, that continues. I was asked to speak about it as it is factually occurring. We have seen it really across the board inside of Addis Ababa. Many hundreds of people are being rounded up for no apparent criminal activity other than being from the Tigray region, and possibly not supporting the government. But again, that should probably not get you arrested. But in this sort of conflict, Unfortunately, it does. That's all we have for now. We'll continue to monitor the situation and report. Again, we're keeping a very, very close eye on the movements of the TDF down the A2 highway, and then obviously, I didn't mention in this video something quite possibly very significant from the Oromo Liberation Army could be on the verge of happening fairly soon. Have a good day, everybody.